souls, handmade in heaven and cared for on earth. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button to join our amazing family. And if you're a returning subby, thank you very much for your love and support. In today's video, I will be sharing insights into why you are here for the billionth time, which is centered on three things: love, karma, and reincarnation. Let's dive right in. Let's begin with love, divine love for that matter. For if we understand love, the other two, karma and reincarnation, becomes easy to grasp. Paul wrote about true love in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 to 8. It says, and I quote, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it is not rude. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It does not take record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails." In the article, Love in Islam, Amira Sharma Abdin tells us that God is so loving that He created an attribute of love as an instinct within us. Hence, true love is part of God's love, and it is our duty to love one another truly as indeed He loves us. Without divine love, there is no human love, and the path to true love is through God. In another article, The Buddhist Teachings on Love, Gil Fronsdal tells us that loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and a particular form of equanimity are the four types of love taught and encouraged in classic Buddhist teachings. He goes on further to say that in their most developed forms, these four types of love can each develop a boundless radiance glowing from us. As such, love may flow from us equally toward all beings, or it may glow freely without needing to be directed towards anyone. Students of Ekankara, under the leadership of Sri Harold Klemp, the Mahanta the 11th Ek Master, are taught that love is patient. Life teaches you better if you have patience. Love is desire, and desire is feeling. Love is absolute, yet there is always room for unfoldment because the consciousness of soul is ever expanding. Love is not a matter of belief, it is a matter of demonstration. Love is a requirement of growth, for it is love that imparts vitality into our minds and hearts and enables it to germinate. Therefore, if you desire love, try to realize that the only way to get love is by giving love. That the more you give, the more you get. And the only way in which you can give is to fill yourself with it until you become a magnet of love. Love is the first and greatest commandment. Love God, love your neighbor, and most importantly, love yourself. For this is the secret to life. Love is the river of God that carries all living things on it towards spiritual perfection. In my Seeker of Truth video, I mentioned that the voice of God is manifested as light and sound. This is love in expression. It is that which controls all things in the universes of God. Love is my ticket as well as your ticket to the heavenly world. It is also the same love that takes care of civilization on earth. It is love and love alone that will gain you favor with God. Love and the desire to serve makes for a great spiritual unfoldment on the path to spiritual liberation. Let love lead. Build an invisible force of love which shall protect, give life, and lift all you meet, see, or know into higher awareness. Divine love is soul's birthright. It leads to integration and freedom, and with its fusion of personal and impersonal, it's infinite in being and expression. It makes you true to yourself and to others, and it makes you live truly and freely. It is the solution to all things. It frees soul from all bindings, purifies the heart, and glorifies the being of all God's creatures. Love alone knows how to give without bargaining for returns. There is nothing that love cannot achieve, and there is nothing that love cannot sacrifice. To those whose hearts are pure and simple, divine love comes to them as a gift through the activating grace of the God man. One who loves God loves life. This love bestows protection and gratitude upon an individual. One in a mantle of divine love acts with charity towards others in most trying ordeals. All the same, human love should not be questioned, even though it is limited. Sooner or later, it will break through all limitations and bring the devotee to the feet of God in eternity where truth abounds. Oh, that was quite a mouthful said about love alone. Let's quickly move on to talk about karma. The main attribute of soul is knowingness. Check out my video on the higher self to learn more about soul. Soul as conception of all that it gathers through the inner senses, that is, an understanding of what has been seen, heard, and known. Each soul is given a body to wear for a purpose. This is the field of karma. The human world is the place of karma. Karma offers an explanation to why soul enters the human body. Karma is simply the interplay of cause and effect. It is a spiritual law and no one can escape it. Believing it or not does not change the fact that it exists. The rule of karma determines factors such as male or female body, race, family, ancestry, friends, economic and social standing. The list goes on and on. We must learn to live in harmony with the exacting terms of karma. We are all in school. Altogether, the lower universes of God is the biggest classroom you will ever be in. And in this classroom, we are learning how to become a co-worker with God. People in general think of karma as an unpleasant force and less often as having a beneficial side. The experiences derived from an adolescent or mature understanding of the law of karma will in time bring you to an acceptance of divine love. This is why we are here. The unpleasant only comes about as a result of troubles we have made for ourselves through ignorance of the spiritual laws. Blessed are those who have borne their karma without looking upon their own afflictions with flags of unhappiness. Nothing is given and nothing is taken away. However, with spiritual unfoldment comes the divine gift and the taking away of what is of no further use to the seeker of God. Let's hear about your personal experiences on karma and reincarnation in the comments section. Let's now move on to talk about reincarnation. In my video on the highest self, I mentioned that we are here to receive purification and to gain spiritual experiences. To experience the full range of life, you need the second coming, the third coming, the fourth coming, the billionth coming, and you would do so in multitudes of bodies, billions of bodies, until you build a heart so pure and worthy of the divine qualities of love, wisdom, joy, and compassion. Karma begins during a person's first incarnation. Rebirth into another body is a fact of life. Let's take a look at this scenario as nicely put by Paul Twitchell, the modern day founder of Ekankar. It says, and I quote, "When we wish to extract gold from its compound mass, we will never succeed if we subject it to fusion only once. It is only by melting the alloy in a crucible several times that we are finally able to separate the heterogeneous particles of which it is composed and release the gold of all its purity." Unquote. And just as in school, when you fail a course, you need to resit it until you pass it. Otherwise, you will never be eligible for graduation. Understanding reincarnation brings peace. It is the understanding that everything happens for you and not to you. You become a more self-reliant and responsible person. There is no pure evil, nor is there a purely good man. He who has gained too much negative karma will reincarnate into life again for the opportunity of regaining all that has been lost in his spiritual unfoldment. Another opportunity is given to start working towards the good of existence. This is the law of karma. It all comes back in the end. And just like gold, we want to be released in our purest state, that which all, including you, values. Have you ever come across lovers who are planning their wedding go for a gold band in its impure state? No, they all go for the 14 carats, the 18 carats, the 22 carats, the 24 carats. Same goes for any other precious or semi-precious mineral, just like the diamonds, the emeralds, the garnets, the jaspers, and so on and so forth. I heard from somewhere that karma isn't real, and that if it is, why is it that Africans are still suffering, whereas the opposite is happening in the case of the Europeans and the Americans? Are you sure they are not suffering? Well, I can only talk about what I know. The fact is that nothing has changed. It was greed on the part of the African leaders that gave life into slavery in the first place. They exchanged millions of people for alcohol, cloth, beads, gunpowder, whilst they took our humans and our natural resources. Tell me, how do they compare? The same thing is happening now with the Chinese. They are all over Africa exploiting our natural resources, and they are doing that in exchange for good roads and loans and things of that sort. They have left our drainage system in extremely terrible conditions. And the worst of it all is that we even went as far as risking our own forest reserve. Very soon, they may take over the continent, making huge demands. This time around, it may be something worse than slavery. They would want to buy the entire continent. But then again, our greedy African leaders will comply. So until I clear for everybody, we will continue to suffer. Remember, you need to pass all of your courses to be eligible for graduation. The emeritus professorship of soul lies in the true spiritual worlds of God. Of all of the three attributes derived from soul's relationship with God, love is the greatest. Soul understands love more, which is why reality has but only one attribute, and that is love. The most secret part of ourselves is the heart of love, the force that opens our heart to allow us to experience life in fuller measure than before. It allows us to have more joy and appreciation for life every day. Where there is an understanding of spiritual love, there is neither consent of what life might be nor care for the worldly life. Accept life for what it is, give love to all. The light of God is in every person. Enjoy the good of others. Overlook and forgive the negative which soul still needs to polish. This brings us to the end of today's video. Kindly subscribe, like, comment, and share. And don't forget to love divinely and unconditionally. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.